Hello, everyone. Welcome. We're going to wait just a couple minutes, let everybody get in and get started. My name is Blake Youngdahl. I'm your customer success manager. Again, we're going to get started here in a few minutes. We're going to be talking about the best feature ever made on Concord called custom properties. I say that kind of as a joke, as you can tell from my tone, but it's seriously the best, and I'm so excited to talk with you about it. We've released some newer features about it or with it, and so we'll talk about those today. Okay, we're gonna get started just here in a few minutes. All right, guys. Welcome again for those of you that are just entering. Sorry for repeating myself for those of you that have been in here for a few minutes. My name is Blake Youngdahl. I'm one of the customer success managers here with Concord. My job is to support you in all of the wonderful things that you guys need. And so a lot of those are support tasks, a lot of those are training tasks. But we have a wonderful team of CSMs here at Concord that are here to support you, here to serve you, and here to make sure you're getting the most out of what you're paying for. And a lot of that comes with teaching you guys new features. And that's what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about the custom document properties feature today. I recommend everybody take a look at it. It is available right now for everyone. It's available for everyone. So if you're listening to this call and you have a Concord account, you can add custom document properties to all of your documents. And so there's a lot of reasons why it's valuable, and we'll get into that today. But I'm just so excited to talk with you about it. Before we get started, I guess I want to let you guys know that we do have the Q&A available. I believe the chat is also enabled. I guess if you guys don't mind, maybe coming in there and testing it out. If you could jump in there and let me know. Oh, there we go. Test, we got it. Where you're coming from. That's a classic one. And let us also know maybe what's your favorite flavor of ice cream. Personally, I'm a Jim as I typing it in. Jenny's gooey butter cake. Can't go wrong there. Gooey butter cake. Let me know if y'all have had it. It's the best. If you haven't had it, you should try it out. So thank you again. The reason why I want you to be aware of the chat is so that you can ask your questions. Please do not hesitate to jump in the chat with your questions. I like to answer them as they come in. If it's maybe derailing my train of thought, I'll just ignore it until the end. But we'll get to it. I will absolutely make sure to answer your question. We're going to again talk about the custom document properties right now, but towards the end usually we have extra time to get into what other things that you wanna hear. Anything from Bluebell? Yes, amen. I see some Bluebell lovers in the chat. I live like an hour from the Bluebell like headquarters, and they give like dollar scoops. The best thing you've ever seen. All right, cool. Let's continue here. I'm going to share my screen with a short little presentation. We're talking about custom document properties here today. And so we're going to just talk about what are custom document properties. We're then going to move into how can you use them and how can you benefit from them. And then I'm going to show you guys what the custom document properties, I'm actually going to show you how you can use them. All righty. So let me move on, and we're going to talk about what are custom document properties. Basically, the idea is this: you can add your own personalized properties to every document. Admins are currently the only people that can create custom document properties. And so there's really anything that you want to keep track of, any sort of data that you want to keep track of, you can add them to your documents. They can be text fields, they can be drop downs or multi-selects, but basically it allows you to create a standard field on your document and add them as text. And so you see here, you create a new property. I know this is just a mock-up here, a little good looking image we have. But like you can add the industry, type in tech. You can have a penalty clause, yes or no question mark, and you can add yes. You can add as many custom properties as you want. I'm gonna jump in before I know someone asks in the chat, what does this mean about tags? It's similar use case to tags. It is a similar use case to tags, but in my opinion, it is 10 times better than tags. If you guys are currently using tags, I know some of you guys have tags based on maybe like a supplier location, for example. You might have a United States supplier location and a UK supplier location and an Australia supplier location tags, 3 separate tags that are on your documents. But the idea with properties is that you can just create one field, one standardized field that can go into your documents that is a supplier location tag with 3 drop downs. And so is a great use of them. But let's talk about how you can use them. Going back to the presentation here. The benefits are, we have 3 benefits really quick. You can see information at a glance. So if you log into your document inbox, you can see the information at a glance. Now, and this was just released, I think yesterday, you can filter your inbox views based on custom document properties. Similar to how you use tags, but even better, you can filter your inbox based on custom document properties. And then finally, this information shows up in reports that contain your document properties. Now, this is a business plan, that second tier. If we have 3 tiers, right, this is the second tier where you can start to export them. But all of these features above, they're available for you. So I do see a question in the chat. Can you make these standard across all contracts? I'm going to answer that here in a second. Again, the question was, can you make these standard across all contracts? Kind of yes, kind of no. Let's jump into it. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you a live demo of custom document properties. So right here in my inbox, this is something that you're familiar with. Administrators, if you want to create a document property, you're going to come to this automations tab and you're going to come to the properties tab right here. So I have some examples of things that you might think about adding. For example, I have supplier location as an example here. I'm actually going to delete total contract value. I'll make sure to cover why, because that's an exciting update. You can do contract officer, maybe a fee schedule or an anticipated contract value. If you guys actually don't mind, throw in the chat things that you guys want to keep track of on your contracts. What are things that you guys wish that you could record, see at a glance, see in reports, filter on? And if you guys do use that and throw them in the chat, I'll actually create a relevant example and I can show you how to create that. So go into the chat if you guys don't mind. What's something that you wish was recorded on your contracts? While you guys are typing, I'm going to tell you how to create an individual property. Again, this is for administrators to do. You come up to add property. By creating a property, this is what you will add to your documents to actually put in. So I see a couple here. Third-party rights, signed or unsigned. These are good. So we can kind of caption these. Okay. Great. I like these. These are great. So we see some, I'm going to read actually out the examples, especially the ones that are coming into me just in general. So we see some that break clauses, early termination clause, audit rights, termination rights, governing laws. Maybe I'll do governing laws as an example. And so what I'm going to do here is if I work in many different states and I have to know many different governing laws, I'm going to type this in. So I'm going to prompt the person that's going to be filling in these properties, right, what it is. And so I see governing laws here. And again, also, here's another thing. This information that you guys are putting into the chat is going to be helpful to us because you might even see this become these things that you're asking for. You might even see these become custom AI properties in the future. So not only is this information helpful for us to use as an example right here, but this is helpful as a CSM and as a product team to understand what you guys want. So thanks for jumping in there. I'm going to continue with this governing laws example here. And so what I want to do is I work in 3 states. And so, or maybe, and so I'm going to choose a drop down, but you have a couple different options here. You can just make it short text if you would like. You can also make it a number field. You even have the option, if I continue just about like text, you have date fields and currency fields, right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a drop down. So I'm going to choose single select, but you also have a multi-select option. I'm going to choose single select here and type in there we go. I've created just 3 drop-down options. I can add as many as I want. You can add them here. And so once I have saved my property, now I can add it to documents. So in order to add it to documents, you can do it one of a couple ways. If you just have an individual document that you want to add it to, you can open up a document and the document properties are added to the summary panel. Document properties are added to the summary panel. So if I open up the summary panel here in the top right-hand corner, I can then scroll down to properties. So you can already see I've used office location as one example. I'm going to hit add property. I've created it. It's already available to me. I can now scroll down to find governing laws. By clicking governing laws, I now have the option to use my single select drop-down option. So now I can choose state of Texas as my governing law body here. Right? So this is how you apply it to documents individually. Now what I'm going to get to is one question that I skipped in the chat. Can you make these standard across all contracts? I think in the way that you are specifically asking, no, at this moment, no, you cannot just across the board add them to all contracts, but you have 2 options if you want to get close. So the first thing that I'll say here is my recommendation, if you guys are using templates, add properties, don't add the values, but just add the overall like governing laws property to your templates. That way, if when you generate a draft off of that template, those drafts will contain the properties for you and your users to enter information into. So you can standardize the addition of these properties for templates. And then very recently, what we added is the ability to add properties in bulk. So this is a brand new feature. It came out this week. What you're now able to do is add properties to documents in bulk. The way that you do this, let's say these 4 contracts here, I want to add a property to. So I can select them, come up to actions, and add a property. What I'm able to do is I'm able to add a property and I'm able to add governing laws. So I can leave it blank if I want to, because maybe all of these 4 contracts are going to have different governing laws. Or if I know that they're all the state of Missouri, I can add that information in there. So this is a little demo on how you add it. But I think maybe we might be missing on the so what. We might be missing the like so what factor, right? What's important, I think, in the beginning, and what I'm really excited about is properties allow you to kind of standardize your data entry, which is really important for admins and people that use tags where you can just have all these selections. But again, by creating properties, you're just kind of standardizing your data entry. But really what's really valuable is how you can see the information, how the information is conveyed to you. So first off, you can see your information in your inbox. You can see your properties in your inbox. Every property that you've created, you can add as a column by clicking this button up here and scrolling down and finding your property. So I'm going to add governing laws here. And what you'll find is it pops up right here. So right off the bat, if I just want to log in and see certain aspects at a glance about my contract, you can log in and you can see this information here. If we move further, right, this is a feature that was just released yesterday, is now you can filter based on properties. So this is huge. You can filter based on properties. So if I come up to filters, go down to my new custom properties filter, I can find my property that I've created. So maybe I want to see all of my properties that have a governing law in the state of Texas. So I can see that information here. Or maybe I want to see all of them with that and with the state of Missouri, and I can see all of the ones that have one or the other. In addition, we have this neat and nifty little additional filter that's custom property is blank. So maybe I want to see here, governing law is blank. Currently, I don't have any, which makes sense, but let me show you how this could be useful to you. Let's say I want to bulk add properties to all of my documents on this page. I come in here, I add a property. I can just add governing laws to remind myself I'm going to keep it blank because I know I'm going to have to come in on the background and add it. So I'm just going to apply it. The reason the bulk or the filter for adding, or governing law is blank, the reason that's valuable is because this will allow me to know all of the documents that have this property. But now when I go is blank, I now have 25 documents that have this property on it, but the value is blank. So now what I can do is come in here, open up the document, add the property to it, add the value. So if you're an admin and you're really responsible for standardizing the property to be in your documents, you can then enable your users to go in on the back end and add the information here. I want to go back to one thing that the customers have been asking me. It's like, what about tags? What about tags? And it's an important question that tags will still be here. If you guys use tags and love tags, tags will still be here. But you may have noticed it kind of is like tags on steroids. Properties are kind of like tags on steroids because, as I mentioned earlier, I have, for example, a a contract officer tag or a supplier or this governing laws tag. And so instead of creating 3 different tags, I just have to have this one. So if you want to transition over to like over from tags to properties, what I recommend you doing is maybe filter based on maybe let's say a vendor here or an NDA. And then if you have a document type property, you can just add it in bulk and then move on from there. So your CSMs are here to support you. I'm going to move on from like the tags to properties migration. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, but I think you should. If you are interested in kind of exploring what that looks like, reach out to your customer success manager. Reach out to your customer success manager. I have a good question in here. What is the benefit of using properties in lieu of tags? Let's talk about, I guess, the vision for tags. The initial vision for tags is that you can add them to documents and almost create a custom filter structure. And so what I'm able to do by creating tags and applying them to documents is I'm able to come in here, and because I've created a tagging structure based on document dollar ranges, I can come in here and I can place a over $100,000 tag, and I can filter and see all of my documents that I've manually assigned as a contract value of over $100,000. But the value for custom properties over tags is that maybe I have a currency field in my document that is anticipated contract value, and maybe that's what that tag initially kind of talks about. If I have a value of maybe like $1,000, you're able to get very, very granular. So you're not only now working with a tag and like you're remembering all of your different tags, but instead what I'm going to be able to do is filter by a currency. And I'm able to see, I want to see a dollar amount that's in between $9,000 or excuse me, $100 and $9,000. So you're able to filter even better, but really where it starts to get extra valuable is seeing your information at a glance. And then it also shows in your reports very smooth, very clean. So if I come down and I maybe want to see all of my documents that were created in the last 30 days that are in the sign, draft, and review stage, I can export this information and it will show in an Excel spreadsheet in a convenient way. So let me actually pull up how this information is shown in your inbox. So if I bring up an Excel spreadsheet, many of you are familiar with this, your custom properties will also show in individual columns. So going back to what is the benefit of using properties in lieu of tags? Previously tags, they would show up all of them all in one column, but now they'll also show up in separate columns as well. I just went a lot over that there. So kind of if I go back to like, what is the use of it? I tried to cover that you can see your properties at a glance. You can filter by your properties. And then as I just showed here, you can export these reports. And so this is really great, guys. If you guys want to start to, build on these reports, send maybe these exports to people for them to see all of your properties and all of this information. You can do this. You just need to make sure you're on the business plan. All right. So thanks, guys, for the questions. I do see, somebody asked to us, can we share this recording, please? We will share this with the webinar so that those of you that were thinking it, we will be sharing this webinar. So I have a Q&A in the chat. And so it is this. At the end, can we go over, oh, this is at the end question. Yes, I'm going to cover this question at the end. Thanks for asking it. Before I move on, though, to that, any questions about anything? Does anybody else have questions for me about custom properties? Maybe things that I haven't used. I have one here. If I create a property and I realize I chose the wrong property type, can I delete the property? So absolutely. So this question here is if I build a property here, and let's say I have conversion fee. Conversion fee maybe shouldn't be a number and it should just be plain text. Maybe I need the conversion fee to be a percentage and the number field doesn't allow me to use the percentage symbol. You are able to come in here because I can't change the type as you just saw. I am able to come in here and delete the property and just create a new one. Great question. I have another one here. Will the AI tool be able to pull information for a custom property when uploading a new document? Thanks for asking this. You prompted me to cover where we're going with it. So I love that you asked that. So currently we're building the ability for you to add, for the AI to be able to pull custom document properties. So if there are things that you love here that you want to keep track of, yes, the AI will be able to pull this information in your custom properties. Now, kind of what we're thinking right now is this required us to build like a custom question for you. So where we're currently looking is you have the option to have this feature if you're paying for the AI. However, what we're currently thinking is that to build custom properties to be pulled by AI, that will be like a professional service fee because it will require us to build it manually. So I have a great question here. Does it remove from your document if you've deleted it? Yes, it should delete from the document. So I just deleted the conversion fee. It should delete from my documents now that I've deleted it. Great question. And it also will delete. Notice there's no conversion fee property here in my column as well. Oh, we have two repeat questions. There we go. So yes, it will delete it from your documents. Great questions, everybody. Thank you for including them. I have another one not related to properties, which I'll get to here at the end. Does anybody else have any questions for me over properties? So I want to highlight one last time. The properties feature is available for everyone. Every single person that's listening to this call can add properties, add them to their documents, and they can start to enter in information. You can start bulk applying them. You can start filtering by them. Everybody can benefit from it. If you want reports and the reporting in order to see it in an Excel spreadsheet, in order to maybe like see your anticipated contract values shown in a report that you can send your CFO, that is something that is on the business plan, so it will require you to upgrade. However, if you want to learn more about this, want to learn more about like the reporting functionality or just how you can add properties or what the benefits are for properties, I put a link in the chat where you can conveniently just click to meet with us. Or if you know your CSM, reach out to them. Talk with us about how to use properties because we're going to continue building things that revolve around properties. We have some exciting features beyond just the AI pulling the properties, but we have some exciting properties that will kind of revolve around we have some exciting features that will kind of revolve around the properties feature. Okay. I don't see any more questions about properties. So now that I've sent that link, encourage you guys to reach out to us because this is something exciting that we think you should adopt. I'm going to move to just general questions. So, okay, this is a good question that I can answer pretty quick. If the type, so for the document summary panel, we added a new field up top called document type. If your document type is not in the dropdown, is the option to add our own document type coming soon? I believe so. This is common feedback that we've seen. You are not the only one asking for this. So this is common feedback and I would anticipate the answer to be yes. Don't hold me to that. Okay, going to the Q&A. At the end, can we go over how to add a new version of a signed document? I have some additional details here that I'm going to need to read. Okay, so essentially, to make sure I understand the question, if I don't, if I'm not answering your question because it's either a lot of details, click that link, reach out to your CSM, and we'll answer it. But basically, the idea is this: I have documents on Concord that are signed, and maybe I have new versions of a signed document that I need to record in Concord. How do we do that? So I have two recommendations for you here, and two different ways that people take advantage of this. So the first one that I would recommend you do is to just add the document as an attachment. Um, so this specific question is how do we do it so that it's shown in the same audit trail and same version history? That's where you kind of get something that we don't necessarily support at the moment. But the general tools that we have, and this may or may not accomplish exactly what you're looking for, is to either use the attachments feature, so you can drag and drop a document in here. I'm going to drag and drop it over the top to add it as an attachment. This will be recorded here. And then in the audit trail, to kind of answer your question, an attachment will be included here, and you can see the file name. I can even rename the file name so you can say maybe this supersedes the existing contract. The other tool we have is to link the documents. So if you have two Concord files in your inbox and in your repository, you can hit add link and you can select the relationship first. Maybe falls under the framework contract or extends, maybe it supersedes. We'll choose supersedes. I can then come in, I can look for documents that I've recently uploaded, or I can just type one into search for it. The cool thing here is that if I click open this document and look in the summary panel, this will also be linked and it'll show the inverse relationship. And so you can see supersedes here and then is superseded by. So I hope that answers your question. I do see some details I wasn't able to read on the fly. Reach out to us if I don't answer your question. Every time I upload a document, it goes directly into my personal folder, even when I'm trying to upload it directly into share folder. Is this how uploads are working now? This is how uploads are working now, but we're looking to re-envision that. We know that the movement of the folders button to up here is requiring some people to build some new muscles, and we understand that that can be painful. We also are trying to re-envision what the personal folder can look like, as well as how uploads look like. So stay tuned for that. Actually get excited if that is something that you're struggling with. So to answer your question, that is how uploads work, but we're looking to change it. All right, I see another one in the chat. So an attachment added before signatures can be seen by another company. Yes, an attachment added after it is fully signed cannot be seen by the other company. That is a great call out here. So that's not a question, but an important piece of information. So here I'm in the review stage. So all of the people on the document will be able to see attachments. However, when it becomes fully signed, this will become an internal document. So only my internal users will be able to see those attachments. Great call out there. Does anybody have any questions for me now? That's okay. Off-topic questions are great. Is there any discussion of automated reminders to approvers or to signers? So we sort of have some automated reminder, maybe not reminders. So signers should receive, if they don't open the document, they should receive a notification every week to remind them that they have a document to sign. We don't have any other sort of automated reminders if they've opened the document or if they need to approve it. And so that's great feedback because I can see how that can kind of keep things greased, keep things flowing. That's some great feedback for us to take to the product team. Any other questions for me? If you find this time invaluable, if you like asking questions and learning more about Concord, you have a dedicated CSM. If you don't, most of you probably know who that is. If you don't know who that is, follow that link. We're here to support you. Our time is available to you to teach you, to train you, to tell you about new features. So come build a relationship with us. You're not paying extra for our services. They all come with your subscription, and we love talking to you guys. So if you want to learn more about properties, or if you have questions about your Concord account, click that link here that I posted in the chat, or just email your CSM, or email it here. I'm just going to give you guys so many different ways to reach out to us. We want to hear from you. We want to build a relationship with you and teach you about the product that we have built and love. So thank you guys for your time. It was a pleasure to get to talk to you about document properties. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks, y'all.